Hi everyone, this is Justin with Service and Sacrifice, and today's video is going to be the top 3 things veterans do that negatively impact their lives and how they can fix them. And this is based off of what I've seen and experienced as a veteran for the past 13 years. That's when I got out. And also over 2 years of assisting veterans and their family members working at nonprofits. Again, I was the vice president of operations for one military nonprofit, and I'm currently the chief strategy officer for another, the Heavy Hitters Project that focuses on assisting with mental health. I'm going to state each negative item, and then, in my experience, what people can do to correct it. Number one, I see a lot of veterans that don't file for their benefits, whatever those benefits may be. VA compensation, medical benefits, even something as small as using your 10% discount at Home Depot. I'll start with the biggest one, which I would say is compensation. In the past 16 years of joining and then getting out, I see so many vets that don't apply for disability for a lot of reasons. They either feel like they don't deserve it, they didn't do enough, they don't want to be that veteran that leeches off the system. A lot of negative bro vets say it's like a version of, welfare, government welfare. And on top of that, people are embarrassed. They don't want to be disabled. But it's not necessarily disability. It's really just compensation for injuries, no matter how small, that you received or were made worse by serving. I think the numbers constantly change, COLA, cost of living, every year, but I think 10% is still around $250 or $280 a month. It is, I don't want to say it's impossible, but near impossible for you to serve a contract, even if it's a 3 or 2 year contract, and not have any type of pain. I know some people that just got out and they're perfectly fine, literally no pain. I don't know if they're lying or not, but for you to get out and not have ankle pain, shoulder pain, back pain, a small level of anxiety, near impossible, guys. At the minimum, you should be filing for something, because I'm telling you right now, every vet I know has tinnitus, has hearing issues, because the shitty ear pro that they give you is not enough to drown out a 50 cal. So compensation, vets don't file. Medical, I believe if you have 50% or above, VA medical is free for you. If it's not, I think it's discounted through like TRICARE or something. Is the VA good? No, it's definitely not good or great, but it's free. Again, not an excuse, but I've saved a lot of money over the past 5 years using the VA. And for really serious things, I'll go to a private doctor, or I'll request community care where I know I'll probably get slightly better care. But for vets that just don't sign up at all, it doesn't make sense. For example, in the past, I've gone to a private care doctor and they say, oh, you need all these medications, PT, OT, whatever it is. And then it's within the rules. You can take that prescription, bring it to the VA, and they will do those things that the other doctor prescribed for free. So if you have a private care doctor and you have to pay $500 for an MRI, take that letter to the VA, get your MRI for free. Doesn't make sense to pay for it, guys. And lastly, vets not taking advantage of the behavioral health appointments or seeing a psychiatrist. I've heard plenty of negative things. I've experienced negative things from trying to use behavioral health. I totally get it. But again, community care, guys, I can't express enough. It's on the VA's website. If you are not happy with the level of care you are receiving from the VA, or wait times are unrealistically long, that's up to your discretion. For me, anything over like 6 to 8 weeks, I'm like, nope, that's too long. Go request community care, and you can be seen by a doctor within your town much sooner. So what are the positives? How can you fix these issues of not filing? Well, one, you could just file. But think of it like this. You signed a contract, right? And technically a government legal contract. By you not using these benefits, not getting money for your hurt knee or your tinnitus or your anxiety, by not getting free medical from the VA, and by not using your 10% at Home Depot, which adds up if you buy expensive things like a grill or something, you are leaving money on the table. It is literally the equivalent of you working at your job, whatever it is, your fancy corporate job, or maybe you're a plumber or something, and not using paid time off. If you accrue 2 days per month, at At the end of the year, do you say, you know what? Nah, I don't want to be looked at negatively or weak for not using my 40 hours. I'm just going to give them up. Same exact concept. Why would you not, at the very least, get the free money from VA compensation and put it away in a savings account? Put it for your kids in the future or donate it to veteran causes. But to not give it, to not take it from the government makes no sense, because I promise you they will spend it on something overseas related anyway. Second biggest thing that I see that, in my opinion, is harmful to veterans who cannot move on from their service, whatever that may mean for the individual veteran. Can't move on from negative events, can't move on from the fact that they didn't deploy, that their service wasn't heroic enough, that somebody died overseas and you have survivor's guilt. Whatever that is, the best advice I can give, and that I tell to veterans that I work with at nonprofits, is you have to move on from these experiences. You don't have to forget them, but try to flip the script. Everything negative that you're thinking about, flip it to a positive. And what I mean by that is, instead of saying, oh man, my body hurts so much from being disabled from the military, flip it. Get the compensation you deserve. Use that money to make more money. So say your job gives you enough money to survive, pay all your bills, live comfortably. Use your VA compensation and start a business and have that 1,000 or 1,500 bucks a month tax free that you get, and try to double it. Whatever that may be, woodworking, making mugs, doing 3D printing of like little soldier figurines and sell it to vets. And then take that money, and if you want to donate it to help other vets out, do that. So use the negative feelings and experiences you have and try to help other vets who may be going through the same thing. There's no point in hating on scenarios that occurred. I hear and read so many comments from vets that got out like 10, 15, 20 years ago and still say shit like, oh man, that, fatty sixes and dumb ones. And it's like, guys, you're like 40, you're like 50. Like, do you think that 01 who's sitting in the AC making 3 times as much as you gives a shit, or gave a shit that you hated on him? Makes no sense. Thinking about these things from 3, 5, 20 years ago is only going to hurt you. Makes no sense. And again, a lot of vets are hard on themselves for not deploying. First and foremost, not deploying is probably one of the best things that could have occurred to you. Every single person I know who has deployed has some form of PTSD, survivor's guilt, freaking out over fireworks, thinking people are on the roofs of houses. I know everybody wants to deploy. They want to see combat. They want to be that badass in the movie that, killed 10 terrorists with their bare hands. It's not worth it, guys. Like, it's just nothing good can come from it. And you don't have to be like these super badass veteran influencers that are special forces and Delta and Spec Ops and can do all this crazy shit. Like, yeah, that stuff is cool, but all the people, the biggest bro vets and biggest haters on other veterans that I see are all special forces dudes. 9 out of 10, or 8 out of, I'll round down, 8 out of 10 times I see veterans shitting on each other, it's because they feel bad not being in the spotlight like these other famous people that I'm not going to name names, but you know who they are. There's like the same top 10 special forces, Green Beret, Rangers, SEAL people. The burden that they have to live with for doing the things that they did is not worth the fame or the book deal that they got. So move on, flip the script, use all the negative emotions and things that you felt from your contract and your mean NCOs and blah, 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 and use it to help other veterans. And I promise you will feel better about yourself. And the last thing, veterans love to isolate themselves. It's no secret. You either isolate yourself as a vet, or other vets that have isolated themselves. Vets like to be left alone, not talk to people, stay in their homes, difficult to make friends. I hear a lot of veterans say, like, it's difficult to be friends with civilians. They just don't understand what I went through. They're lazy. I did all these things to protect their freedoms and they don't appreciate it. And the thing I would say to that is, again, just like number 2, isolating yourself, not talking to people, and staying alone is not going to benefit you. It's only hurting you. Like, it's cool to be there's a very fine line between introvert and self-isolating. I just want everyone to understand that. And you don't need to be thanked for your service. When you joined, you weren't like, I can't wait to get out and get recognized and get 5% off at Applebee's. That's not why you signed up. And how to flip the script on this one of isolating yourself: join communities, join a gym, continue your education. There's plenty of free certifications and things you can do if you have the GI Bill, VR&E, whatever it is. Use these things. Skill bridge programs. I think the PMP gives the classes away for free for vets. Just do these things, take advantage of it. Every certification, every continuing education thing you do, you put on your resume, and it may not have an immediate positive effect, but in, who knows, 2, 3, or 5 years, that certification you did could get you a promotion that has, $30,000 pay increase. And volunteering, two biggest things: joining communities, whether that's like, CrossFit, High Rocks, gym community, Saturday morning run clubs, and volunteering. So like I volunteer at a nonprofit. You can do a soup kitchen. You can do, working at Goodwill and taking in clothing items and such. But I promise that if you give time back, you will feel better about yourself. And a lot of people I talk to get overwhelmed by the concept of volunteering. Like, oh, I'm so busy, I don't have time. I'm working for free. It doesn't have to be a full-time job. It doesn't have to be 8 hours a week. You can volunteer 1 hour a week. You can volunteer 4 hours a month. Like, you're still giving back. Don't think, oh, I'm only doing 4 hours a month. Like, is it really that beneficial? And the answer is yes, it is. What are your thoughts on these three things? Again, three negative aspects that veterans inflict upon themselves: don't file for benefits, can't move on from their service, and isolate themselves. Are there any others that I'm forgetting? And how would you correct these issues?